Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for the sign in the title below because this is a bulk introduction. As ever, there'll be a timestamp down below so that you can watch more than one and get past all my waffle. Because I'd like you to watch your sun, your moon and your rising, especially rising. Sun and rising, most importantly, moon as well, because that can influence sort of the way that you're feeling, the more internal inside stuff. But anyway, on I think it's 30th of June, so Monday, the second of 3 Jupiter Pluto conjunctions go exact. So at the moment Jupiter is retrograde, so it's gone past Pluto, it's coming back again, it's going to go straight past, and then later in the year it's going to go past again and conjoin one last time. So we're in the middle of the story. I've already done the readings because I often think after I go through the zodiac readings, I normally do the intro first, then do the readings, and then I'm like, oh, I want to do an epilogue. I want to do a comment on the themes that I've seen coming out. So I thought, well, why not do the intro second? It's very much we are being tasked to work. We are taking things on board. Our roles are being made clear to us. And when I say that, they're being made clear to us by us or the planets, but it's not like it's getting imposed in from on high. It's all like activating soul contracts and all the hippie stuff, but you know, it's where you feel right, where you have the ability to take power in your own world and just work hard. We are all going to be working the land. Now, just a note, from Aries through till, I didn't realise until Sagittarius, so Aries through Scorpio, I got the houses sort of wrong. So unless you use an equal sign system and your sun, moon or rising sign is 24 degrees or past, where I said the first house, it would, where I said the second house, it would be the first. Where I said the third house, it would be the second, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure there was a reason for it because I sat down and I worked it out, and then somewhere along the line it got mixed up. So ignore what I say about houses in terms of the astrology, but don't ignore it in terms of the reading that I give you, because there will be a reason for it. There will be a reason that, you know, it's either not going to affect the reading at all, or it's going to help me shape the reading that I give to you. As a general reading rules apply. You know, roles can be reversed, timing's hardly absolute, and hey, this one's going to last us till, I think it's either October or December, the next conjunction. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's December. You can ask a question before this reading, so if you want to do that, pause the video, think about all the questions that are around you, be aware of all of them, pick one of them, focus on it to put energy into the process, and hopefully I will return that energy to you. And if I don't, the universe will somehow. I am not going to guarantee that your question gets answered, or that the question you choose is the one that gets answered, because the cards will answer what they want and not necessarily what you and I. So that's why I say be aware of all of the questions. Now, what I am going to do is read the symbols of this degree. So from inside degrees, 24 degrees something is the 25th degree of Capricorn. And in inside degrees, the image is a woman wearing a mask made out of butterfly wings. Now that immediately leads me to, okay, wearing a mask, adopting a role, hiding something, fighting crime, you know, because of course I would think that way. Butterfly wings, transformation, spirituality. You know, it's literally a mask composed of souls, which can be a good thing. I would hope it's a good thing. You know, it's like taking on board the qualities and the duties and responsibilities of civil rights campaigners who passed before us, or environmental activists who passed before us, whoever. So, a woman wearing a mask made out of butterfly wings, wrapped about in customary trappings, made to look and act the part superbly, programmed to do everything on cue. Taking yourself in hand and subordinating all other factors to ambition, power and worldly position, in a premeditated, systematic, super-orderly fashion, fitting the role. So good at this you fool yourself. The perfect wraparound setup of simply turning yourself into what everyone needs to see. There's definitely two ways you can interpret all of this. The perfect wraparound setup of simply turning yourself in is what everyone sees, yeah. But because there is so much manipulation and control in it, this can become highly corrupted. It all depends on the motivation. At best, you will become a viable role model for a given set of characteristics of an advanced kind to be embodied perfectly. But at worst, you will deceive and beguile and manoeuvre so smoothly that no one will know who you serve, who your master is, and where this all comes from at all. Now, Astrotheme says it is in an amphitheatre, an arrow is shot by an invisible hand. So it's taking aim, practice. It's the manoeuvring of spirit in your life. I could waffle for ages, especially that mask one. There is an element of fake it till you make it. There is an element of do not deceive yourself. There is an element of I can see that this needs to be done, and I can see that this is the person I need to be in order to get it done. So have a look at each reading, see what you think. Obviously, I'm going to ask you to like the videos if you do like them. Subscribe if you like what you see, because the subscribes and the like buttons really do help the video and the channel irrespectively, sorry. And comment, because it's always good to receive your feedback. Sometimes YouTube is a bit slow to alerting me that I have the comments, but you know, I will get back to you sometimes as late as 3 weeks later, but I try to do it quicker than that. I really do. But in the meantime, I think that's everything I've got to say. Oh yes, down below, details about the reading, obviously, details of how to contact me, and a link to a Facebook group where I post these videos and the astrology videos I watch, and various other things that I find of interest. So I don't really use the community tab, but one thing I would ask with this one also, I'm thinking about starting to do live streams, so let me know if you're interested in that. And obviously I'm still working on, although I haven't done any for a week or so, Chinese and Western zodiac combinations. So again, comment and let me know if there's any I need to put on my list. All right, I'll bring up the cards. And welcome Taurus Rising and Taurus Moon if you've just joined us after the timestamp. And if you are Taurus Rising, then this is occurring in your 8th house. Now this is the transformational area of your life, which is about shared resources and intense emotions. And I think that these cards do indeed promise an intense emotional journey, but there is a warning within them about don't be too heavy-handed. There's multiple layers of message here, to be honest. There's something that will be revealed to you in the choice of, it's almost like this could be true, this could be true, this could be true. Now you have your own suspicions of this one way or another, but what I'm feeling here is your suspicions are wrong. The truths that you hear are wrong, Okay, and I don't think these truths match up with what you considered your suspicions to be either. We've got the high priestess starting off the reading. So I think that it is calling upon you to seek balance, as all of these readings have been. Also on the bottom of the deck, Two of Wands and Two of Suns, which is Two of Wands. And Nine of Wands on the Mystic Manga Tarot, but if that is not a card about balance, but in a completely different meaning, then I don't know what is. She is perched on that ninth spear. Eighth spear? Yeah, on the eighth spear. The ninth is in her hand. There is a chance of rebirth here, but do not be too heavy-handed and be very, very careful of believing that you are master of the information that comes to you. You are a master of listening and absorbing that information, but a lot of it is fairy favours, a lot of it is assumptions, he said, she said, and Chinese whispers. Sorry, the telephone game. But there's a lot of misinterpretations, a lot of people making up the details when they don't know them for the sake of a good story. So whatever this information is that comes to you, it does cause you quite a bit of pain. We've got the Eight of Swords here. We've got the Three of Swords here. It's almost like you're getting tangled up in somebody else's web. And it's like, hang on a minute, I want to be the one in control here. So you can take that control, but I think the best way for you to take that control is to stand back and go, okay, and not really react. Even if you can see the sun rising outside your window, fact check it. Make sure you get that authenticated by a second source. Do you know what I mean? There's because this moon card here with the Seven of Cups, there's so many things that could be true, but quite possibly aren't. And whatever action, whatever you cut out in this period, you will be committed to. And that might not be the best of ideas when one thing that's coming out here is loyalty. Staying loyal to friends of yours no matter what you hear, because Three of Cups for strength, but also the fact that this entire thing will be confusing. There's a lot of change going on and you've got to stick to what is right. Progress here will be quite slow, but it will be grounded. Any changes that you make will be grounded. Like I said, you will be committed. You cut somebody out right now, you're committed to that. You know, that's not something that will change. You know, it's not something that you can undo easily. And there's always the chance that when the sun rises and you know, that the wealth of information comes back in, and to a certain extent material abundance comes in as well with this. So maybe there's a lack somewhere that you believe is due to somebody's actions, but even if it is due to somebody's actions, it's because they've taken something and put it to one side to, say we're talking about money, they've invested it and all of a sudden it comes back with a good return. You know, there will be a method in their madness, but while you can only see the madness and you can't see the result, it's going to look very, very different to what it is in actuality. So I think you're getting quite a... I don't know my astrology well enough to know if you're getting pinged by the whole Neptune in Pisces thing. So Pisces, that's only a sextile away from your birth sign, but so beyond that I'd need to look at your chart and then go, that's interesting, that's a chart, I'm not that good yet. But I believe that some of this, that makes sense, some of this misinformation is there as a test from spirit or from the world or the universe or however you want to look at it, or even from yourself, to see how that loyalty, how strong is that loyalty. The other thing that comes out of this, right smack bang in the middle of the reading, with Master of Orbs, King of Swords, and the Eight of Spheres, which in this Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, they're pictures painted by Nostradamus' son, apparently. Well, and re-modified and, you know, made good for the cards. But is that you will be having a message to bring through to the world. Let me grab what it says about this Eight of... Eight of Spheres. Under the influence of Saturn, the bringer of knowledge, a lone scholar, sits sunk deep in thought. The fact that he is partially naked shows he has put aside worldly pursuits in order to contemplate the infinite wisdom accessible to all but sought by a few. His left hand is pressed to his ear, showing that he is shutting out the distractions of the world. You could also think about the past with the left hand. You could also make a link to left hand path as in the magic and illusion that is promised by the moon here. So moon to magic, left hand path. I'm not saying the left hand path is all illusion, because it's certainly not. But in this instance, ignoring some of the structures of the past, not listening to them, listening to the present, ignoring illusions and magical thinking when you are trying to be quite practical. Nine of Pentacles here, you're relying upon yourself. King of Pentacles here, you are building something slowly. And remember, the King of Pentacles is all that. If this was a love reading, that's a guy, although I never get this from the card out of this particular deck, but you know, the clothes, the house, the car, the job, the friends, the social status, the this, the that, the other, you know, everything, all of the should boxes are ticked. But I'm not sure that what you're wanting is that the should boxes be ticked. Now, if you're not wanting the should boxes to be ticked, don't be carried away by the information that comes to you to start off with. This message that you have, oh yeah, let me finish reading this. While his right is raised in a typical gesture of blessing, he will not retain the wisdom he requires for himself alone, but instead will share it with the world. But that King of Master of Orbs is telling me that you are called to be master of the information that comes to you, which means when you see there is a piece missing, you wait for that other piece or you try and find it out. When you see that there's numerous contradictory stories, you don't react to any of them. You wait for that to come out. But with all of this confusion, there will be one overwhelming message that comes out of it that you will see clearly once this confusion of the hangman time has cleared up, as long as you are sticking with your loyalty to your friends. So it's almost like one of your friends is getting attacked or criticised for something that they've done, and you are highly tempted to go, oh God, yeah, that's awful. No, they shouldn't have done that. No, that's it. Right, I'm not having anything more to do with them. And I don't think that that's necessarily the right path forward. Now, it may be long term, but it's too soon to make that judgment. But when you find out some information that hurts you, that gives you heartache, that makes you think, oh my God, how could they? That's the time that you go, ah, I have not got all of the information yet, because clarity will come. I'm in divine pairing here, Master of Orbs with the Queen of Swords. Okay, two different worlds meeting, between the Syrian Starseed Tarot and the Legacy of the Divine Tarot, but there is clarity there to be had, but you have to stand back and wait and not be heavy-handed. Right. That's pretty much, excuse me, that's pretty much all I see here. Just keep the faith. In fact, I might even call the reading that. Keep the faith. You don't have all the answers yet. All right. So like, share, subscribe, and contact me if you want a personal reading. All right. Cheers.